Hi Fred, welcome to today's topic on the measurement of nutrient intake and status in Australia. The aims of this presentation include describing the methods used in collecting and measuring nutrient intake in Australia, to define a survey, to provide examples of surveys conducted to date, and to link to how and why this area can inform your practice as a chef. Just before we delve into nutrient measurement, it is useful to think about why nutrient measurement of the population is required. Firstly, nutrient intake data informs policymakers, health professionals, as well as food regulators and food providers. This information can promote health and well-being and protect against chronic disease. Additionally, regular capture of dietary data helps monitor the status of the population, in turn facilitating assessment and refinement of guidelines. Measuring the nutrient intake and status of Australia requires primarily the use of surveys. A survey gathers information and provides a snapshot of the population we are interested in. Commonly, nutritional surveys study populations defined by geography, such as nationwide or statewide. Or they may look at populations defined by groups, such as adults or children. Nutritional surveys at the national level are required to be large, in order to include many people which accurately reflect the entire country, providing reliable information. Surveys can use many methods to collect information. 24-hour diet recalls are commonly used where the participants recall the last 24 hours of food consumption to the interviewer. Food frequency questionnaires contain predetermined questions regarding the type and frequency of food intake over a period of time. Telephone or face-to-face interviews can also be used. 24-hour recalls are useful as they are inexpensive, practical, and easy to complete, which is essential for large-scale surveys. While poor memory can impact results, 24-hour recalls can be performed multiple times to gain an average of consumption, improving accuracy of results. Food frequency questionnaires are also quick and inexpensive, allowing large population studies. They are accurate and gather detailed information. At times, these too can be impacted by poor participant recall. Interviews can offer rich data due to freedom of expression and ability to elaborate, however may introduce interviewer bias and are time-consuming, therefore are not commonly used in surveys where large numbers are required. Weighed food records have also been used in the past for surveys. However, this method was found too cumbersome, adding further reliance on 24-hour recalls and questionnaires, which have become the most utilized and trusted to date. The food composition information from a survey is then required to be analyzed for composition of nutrients. This is done by multiplying food consumption from the survey by nutrient composition of the food. Data on the nutrient composition of food is contained at food composition databases. These include NUTAB and AusNut, which are both created and regulated by the Food Standards Australia and New Zealand. Links to these databases can be found below. Australia first began surveying national nutrition in 1938 under the Advisory Nutrition Council. Examples of recent surveys that have been conducted are listed below. These surveys are run by the Australian Bureau of Statistics, and further information on these can be found at the supplied link. The National Nutrition Survey in 1995 involved more than 12,000 individuals, and it utilised both the 24-hour diet recall and the food frequency questionnaire. This survey was used to inform the dietary guidelines set by the National Health and Medical Research Council. The 2011 to 2013 Australian Health Survey recently provided an update and further accuracy of nutrient intakes. The Australian Health Survey included over 50,000 randomly selected participants and utilised the 24-hour diet recall method twice to improve accuracy of results. Biological samples were also utilised where possible, making the results of this survey more robust and trustworthy. The study was broad, with 4 outline components and separate surveys shown below. Overall, nutritional surveys provide large-scale measures of the nutrition intake and status in Australia. They utilise acceptable methods to produce results such as 24-hour diet recalls and food frequency questionnaires. Along with other validated scientific studies, measurements from surveys inform the Australian Dietary Guidelines and the Australian Guide to Healthy Eating, developed by the National Health and Medical Research Council. This can be seen in the diagram. What can this mean for you? By working as a food provider for the general population, adherence to the Australian Dietary Guidelines can mean being supported by wide-scale measurement systems such as the nutrition surveys. That in effect reflects the people you serve day to day. Thank you for your time, and please feel free to take a fact sheet for reference.